walk with a purpose. Why saying no to overscheduling is the ultimate parent mantra. As we journey into the new year and our kids return to school, it's more of a regular schedule that returns to our life. And it's in this season that we need to remind ourselves about our most valuable commodity: time. Time is elusive. It's not like anything else. And once it's gone, poof, we can't get it back. In my book, Living by the Mantras, Common Sense Wisdom for an Extraordinary Life, I talk about this idea more than once. One of the quietest yet most powerful principles is this: your time is your currency in life and in your children's lives. Spend it carelessly, and even the best intentions just turn into mediocrity. Guard it fiercely, and you are on the road to excellence. Nowhere is this more urgent than in how we manage our time with our kids. We live in an intensive time of parenting. The cultural expectation is that every hour of our child's life needs to be optimized, enriched, and documented. The result? Overscheduling our lives, and they're filled with back-to-back practices, clubs, tutoring, enrichment. And parents feel a pressure, especially during this back-to-school season, when the calendar fills quickly, faster than the supply lists, and the financial and emotional obligations climb. Yet the research and the lived experience of thousands of families have the same truth shared, and that is too much structured activity is the difference between excellence and mediocrity. When every free moment is claimed by an adult structured activity, children lose the very experiences that actually build resilience, build creativity, and self-direction. Unsupervised play, boredom that sparks invention. I mean, think about that. When you have time, that's when you come up with the crazy ideas, right? And they need the space to simply be. Helicopter parenting and pure gentle parenting are both extremes. Helicopter parenting calls for over-controlling, and gentle parenting never establishes boundaries. Thank God the pendulum is swinging back, and now we're to a topic called hybrid parenting. It's an approach of warm connection paired with clear limits. I'd like to personally call it common sense parenting. And that's because it's a wiser path to be on. It says be present and emotionally available, and don't let the schedule own your family. Control the schedule or it will control you. Time management with kids begins with an adult's willingness to control the schedule rather than be controlled by it. This is not about rigid precision, but it's about being intentionality. Start by asking simple truths, ruthless questions of every potential commitment. Does this activity serve something truly important to my child, or is it just another distraction wearing a mask of opportunity? Is this going to help my child grow in a meaningful way, or is this just a social, societal pressure to give recognition in a superfluous way? Unfortunately, we live in a time where showing off our children's success is as easy as a social media post. And while we're genuinely happy to see them progress and succeed, it's often at the cost of a child's time and energy. It's at the cost of a family's time and energy as well. I have a personal example. My children attended an award-winning school district that had, so many opportunities. They had athletics, performing arts. They had all kinds of curricular, co-curricular activities, academic activities, and more. And the school district created this block award as a way to award the students who tried to participate in everything. Our two older children, the big kids, that's what we call them. They're a decade older than their youngest sibling. They were driven, and they were constantly competing for this block award, competing with their peers, competing with each other. And we were always stretched and exhausted as a family, trying to help them do absolutely everything. When the youngest one came along, we were a little bit wiser, and we encouraged her to pursue only those things that truly she had passion for, that made her heart sing. and we became no Blockians as a family. And we really were excited to see her have excellence in what she was really pushing for. Allow your kids to have a real voice in choosing what they do and choosing their sports, their clubs, and their commitments that matter to them most. Because ownership is going to fuel their motivation. But once you've chosen those few high value activities, you need to guard your calendar completely. Saying no to extras is not deprivation, it's intentionality. It's prioritization. And then you can live by the mantra, walk with a purpose. Boundaries are a fence that keep the important things in and the trivial things out. Okay, without them, the most well-meaning family just falls into a crazy schedule of busyness. Children who grow up never hearing a firm no, they often struggle later in life because they're the ones that say no to distractions, overcommitments, and even the endless scrolling. Boundaries teach that excellence requires focus. Focus requires empty space. The hidden cost of too much. When every afternoon and weekend is booked, several casualties appear. Family dinners and unhurried conversations disappear. Free play, the engine of problem solving and social skills, gets squeezed out. Parents burn out under the logistics of intensive schedule and modeling stress instead of presence. And children learn that their worth is measured by how full their resume looks rather than the depth of their character or the quality of their attention. The difference between a child who develops genuine excellence and one who is merely collecting mediocre experiences is often protected by the margin of time. Boredom is not an enemy. Chronic overstimulation is the enemy. A phone-free hour of unstructured outdoor play or quiet reading builds more lasting capacity than any other practice under fluorescent lights. Setting boundaries for this year. Here are simple, practical ways to strengthen your boundaries. Number one, sit down with your kids and list every current activity. It's critical to include them in the process. Number two, circle the one or two that really light them up and align with their real interest in developing strengths. Number three, cross off the rest for next season, or at least put them on pause. And number four, protect the newly open space of your schedule as fiercely as you once protected the full calendar. To do this, you have to schedule it, time block it. Time block free play, family connection, rest, the kind of slow, unstructured time that modern childhood so often lacks. You'll feel the resistance from other parents, from a culture that says more all the time, and sometimes from your own fear of missing out. Hold the boundary anyway. Excellence is not born from doing everything. It is born from doing the right things deeply and well. You can choose to live a shallow life that's a mile wide or a true, valued life that's a mile deep. Summing it up. In the end, the greatest gift that you can give your children is not a packed schedule that proves how dedicated you are. It is a life where there's room to breathe, room to choose, room to fail, room to invent or discover who they are when nobody is watching the clock. That is the difference between a childhood of mediocrity and one that quietly prepares them for a life of excellence, a life that is extraordinary. Guard the hours, say no with courage, and the important things will have space to grow.